name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. Welcome to Liberated Sisters. I'm your host, Sister Charlene Muhammad, and we are streaming live on my Facebook page, as well as I ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Liberated Sisters. That's Liberated Sisters on YouTube. And today we have the Farrakhan Factor, which we will air for you some new material that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his great team released from the Criterion. There's new material released actually with the Criterion, his message to humanity, which Minister Farrakhan delivered on July 4th. That was also actually the 90th independence celebration of the Nation of Islam. And this was delivered from his home in Michigan. And so we're going to feature that in the Farrakhan Factor. We're also, after that, going to talk to Sister Beatrice X, get her feedback about it, and also talk a little bit about her travels and finding her family, and also what's happening in the Breonna Taylor case. We're going to have the COVID report with Angela Birdsong, and all of that is coming up after the Justice Report. In today's COVID report, straight out of the Final Call newspaper, this is a matter of life and death. COVID-19 vaccine controversy grows. If we could leave the cover up a little bit, Sister Felicia, that would be fantastic for me. Americans are increasingly distrustful of the COVID-19 vaccines, politics, and safety, according to opinion polls, as President Trump vows to override federal agency if more stringent approval guidelines conflict with his desires. Then there are questions about money. Conflicts of interest surfaced during the Senate hearings that was recently held, while coronavirus infections and deaths rise, and belief in a magic bullet to end the pandemic fails. In the center page for this week, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's story, or message rather, wickedness in high places and America's depopulation policies. This is a very, very serious affair. We continue in the Justice Report with anger and heartbreak in Louisville. This is by Brother J.A. Salam. Brother J.A. Salam talks about the recent ruling. Of course, it's public knowledge now. The sentiments about Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron's explanation of a grand jury decision to not directly charge 3 police officers in the killing of Breonna Taylor has sucked life out of many hoping for justice there. There's more in the Final Call. I just want to give you a few more of the headlines. Call for de-escalation after police shoot an autistic boy. You just can't make this up. This story is by Anissa Muhammad, and I'll round out the Justice Report with this. Police released body camera footage where they can be heard asking whether they should actually approach Lyndon Cameron. A luxury black victims of police brutality do not often get. Lyndon is white, okay? So the officer, according to Sister Anissa, was expressing some hesitancy about trying to apprehend him. Here's a quote. "He's not harming himself. I'm not about to get in a shooting." This said Kim Kaiser, a program director for the Color of Autism Foundation. The problem is, if you know you're going to approach a white family in a white neighborhood, you're going to consider these things. If you're walking into a black home in a black neighborhood, or just walking into a black home no matter where you're at, those things aren't taken into consideration. It's shoot first, ask questions later. There are more of these types of riveting, sometimes unimaginable stories in the Final Call newspaper, but they are absolutely occurring right now. And of course, rounding it out, explosive tax revelations overshadow talk of new Supreme Court pick. This is in terms of the information about President Donald Trump and the minimal, if that, amount of taxes that he has paid. And so that's the Justice Report. Will return with the COVID report, or actually next is the COVID report, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it. Ethnic Media Services, as we get ready to hear from Angela Birdsong, hosts weekly briefings where they give us information about the different ways COVID-19 is impacting our communities. And so Angela Birdsong is the Liberated Sisters contributor for the COVID report. She's a great volunteer, and here she is with what is the latest regarding arts and culture.
Since the first COVID-19 case was reported in January 2020, virtually every arts organization in the country has had cancellations. Theaters and performing venues have gone dark. Productions and tours have been halted at a combined loss of $12 billion. Some 94% of artists and performers have seen their incomes plummet, according to Americans for the Arts. Ethnic Media Services speaks with arts promoters and artists to learn more about the effects of the pandemic and what it would take to rescue arts in the United States. Kristen Sakota, director of the Los Angeles County Department of Arts and Culture, provides more statistics on the loss of revenue in the arts sector.
Here in Los Angeles County, based on reports and surveys of the field of arts nonprofits, we've seen collectively more than $20 million of financial impact just on 250 of the arts nonprofits that responded. We've seen 39% have already dipped into financial reserves, 40% have furloughed or laid off staff, and 78% are worried about a decline in philanthropic giving. And we've seen, sadly, a high percentage, about 50%, that say they're worried about even surviving as an organization after COVID.
Sakota further explains the financial challenge of community-based arts organizations before the pandemic.
Those that really reflect and serve communities of color and other kinds of culturally rooted practices often don't have the same access to donors or to large amounts of capital.
Jose Luis Valenzuela, artistic director at the Los Angeles Theater Center, says his main concern is
many of the small theater companies won't survive this crisis. Yes, because we don't even know when are we going to be able to open.
Reporting for the Liberated Sisters COVID report, I'm Angela Birdsong.
Thank you, Angela. And now we get into the Farrakhan factor. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan addressed the current state of affairs in America, the world, the coronavirus global pandemic, and other critical subjects. Minister Farrakhan's message, The Criterion, delivered on Independence Day, which also marks the 90th anniversary of the existence of the Nation of Islam in America, has been released with new material. We're not going to play the centerpiece, which is, of course, Minister Farrakhan's message, or I should say replay, because we've aired it several times, but we're going to play the new material, and we encourage you to view it in its entirety at noi.org, noi.org. Here is the Criterion's new material. I want your feedback. Let's talk about it.
In the name of Allah,
the Beneficent, the Merciful, let us give praise to Allah, our God, for His love, mercy, and blessings upon us, for giving to us a flag that represents the universe, the sun, the moon, and the star. It also means that we are free, justified, and made equal to all mankind.
we're ready. Work.
Our Savior, Master Fard Muhammad, gave us this flag 90 years ago. The red in the flag signifies the sun, which represents freedom, the crescent moon, equality, and the star, justice. It is a flag that Allah put up, and only Allah can take down. The crescent in the flag that our Savior gave us is in its first quarter, symbolizing that this is a new nation of Islam. This second flag that we will hoist this day is the flag given by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for his national representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. On the occasion when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan took to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad an FOI uniform for his approval. In the design of the uniform, Minister Farrakhan had our national in the Nehru collar. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, "Brother, take the crescent out and leave the star coming out of the sun, for you have no equal. This flag is not to be worn or hoisted by anyone. It is the flag of the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad."
Original salute. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
والنجم إذا هدى.
By the star, when it sets.
ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
Your companion errs not, nor does he deviate.
وما ينطق عن الهوى.
Nor does he speak out of desire.
إن هو إلا وحي يوحى.
It is naught but revelation that is revealed.
علمه شديد قوى.
One mighty in power has taught him.
ذو مرة فاستوى.
The Lord of strength. So he attained to perfection.
وهو بالفق الأعلى.
And he is in the highest part of the horizon.
ثم دنا فتلاه.
Then he drew nearer yet.
فكانوا قاب أنفسنا أدانا.
So he was the measure of two bows, or closer still.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا نذيرا.
O Prophet, surely we have sent thee as a witness, as a bearer of good news and a warner.
وداع إلا الله بإذنه رسجا منيرا.
And as an inviter to Allah by his permission, and as a light-giving sun.
Ready!
The nation of Islam is dedicated to the establishment of freedom, justice, and equality on our planet, and to the establishment of a universal government of peace, wherein we all can live in peace together.
We are fighting for Islam,
and we will surely win.
with our Savior Allah, the universal King. We are united with our nation and called by his name. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for we Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. Freedom, justice, and equality we now must have. 400 years of slave for the devils, lost from our own. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. The earth belongs to the righteous, fight for your own. Allah gave you an eye for a national, the sun, the moon, and the stars, the best of his creation he has given to you. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own. The earth belongs to the righteous, fight for your own. Allah gave you an eye for a national, the sun, the moon, and the stars, the best of his creation he has given to you. So let us rise, ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight, O ye Muslims, fight for your own. Fight for your nation, and we will all be free. Fight for your nation, fight for your own.
Attention!
Wow. That's tear-jerking right now. So that's just part of the new material that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan released. And it's so beautiful. It's really beautiful. Coming up after we see the next level of new material involving the wills, as Minister Farrakhan said during the criterion, you know, he asked Allah to send them out, to bring them out so that we can understand that the man that is before us is backed by God, and across the world they came out. And so after this, we will be speaking with Sister Beatrice, getting her feedback about this, as well as going into some more of what's happening in our country in terms of police violence. And she'll be speaking on behalf of Love Not Blood campaign. But I'm just so excited, and it's just so beautiful to see. You know, we have a nation. We have a whole nation. And so fear not, you know. But here, let's go to the other extended material of the criterion. And thank you for staying with Liberated Sisters.
Oh, yes. Yes, ma'am.
That's why I asked them to show you the wheels.
Yes, sir.
Because I've also asked Allah to send them
Yes, sir.
over here
Yes, sir.
just to confirm what I've said
Yes,
today.
sir. Yes, sir.
That the man that I'm representing to you, those two men, they are the masters of the wheels.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't even look like a plane, does it?
whatever it is not a plane, and this is moving fast.
I'm telling you, those aren't planes.
UFO, you got it,
I'm recording it right now. I'm recording it. Look.
UFO over Southside. Hey, yo, what the
You see how it's moving?
Nobody else see this?
I'm getting it.
UFO! Get the f out of here! That is a UFO, y'all. Hey, what? Hey, we don't have that stuff in midair. We don't have that stuff in midair.
It's still there. It is not a helicopter. The helicopter's up maneuver like now it's going back up. Hey, look it, it's going back up.
When I close down in the garden,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the God will do some work.
Yes, sir.
Not no lantern. That defies logic.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It looks like a damn UFO.
Where's it going?
I know I'm not tripping. Outside my window.
Una especie de objetos voladores no identificados, llámense ovnis, cambiando de colores. Son 5.
Que porra é isso, hein? Eu sei. Não, drone não? É não, na altura dessa. Tá vendo? Acabar é o mundo aí, viu? Piscadeira danada, velho. Tem uma luzinha piscando, ó.
UFO 啊，是什么东西啊？这个是，怎么在跑啊？
What can I say? What can I say? All praise is due to Allah. You know, as a believer, in these wills, we know exactly what they are. They're not unidentified flying objects. To believe and know in your heart that they exist, and then to also see them is just something very overwhelming. Each time I see this, I just thank you, Minister Farrakhan, for sharing that and for releasing the footage and just all of this information. You know, what I hope it would do for us today, those who view Liberated Sisters, is to know, as he said, you know, he's not just someone that's here teaching and guiding and defending and fighting for us, challenging this wicked enemy, challenging the slave master's children. I mean, life on the line, poison, time and again. You know, even now, even as he delivered the message, I implore you to watch it for yourselves, rewatch it. If you have seen it several times, watch it again. Every day we're different, and every day there's something in that message that will be revealed. But to see that footage, and we'll bring in Sister Beatrice so she could testify and we continue on with the show. But to see it, and it makes me think about the times where I was blessed with my own eyes to see some of the wills. One was at the Vanguard Retreat. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Mother Khadijah and their family hosted at his very farm, that very same place, the young women and girls, the vanguard of the MGT and GCC class. He had a special message for them and a special message for the women of the world, which aired also during that weekend. And after the minister spoke to the young women and the young soldiers of the nation, I'm going to always find a way. Let's bring in Sister Beatrice and I'll continue. Sister Beatrice?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I want you to hear this and I want you to tell your testimony, but I'll always find a way to serve in these ways. I just thank Allah for allowing me that. And I was asked to be a chaperone. I wanted to go. And I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So I was allowed to be a part of that beautiful contingency that went from across the world. But I chaperoned girls along with my daughter, Raisa. And after the minister spoke to them that day, we took them back to our resort room. And the girls, everything, we were just all abuzz, totally abuzz. What did you get out of it? What did you learn from it? And we were listening to them share. And one of the girls, my niece, Kira, was at the window. And she screamed, is that a baby plate? She just like, oh my God, there's a wheel. And we were like, nah. And we went out and they were there, prancing and dancing. Now, we might get spanked for this, but I'm telling you, we ran out of the resort. FOI were on the door, securing the property. We rushed past the brothers before they could get us. And we were trying to take pictures from the room, but the wheels would not allow us to. But we were able to go out and get some shots. And it was something to see them, see what they had been reading about and learning about. It's just a beautiful thing. But at the end of the day, my bottom line is hands off Farrakhan. You know, when you move on him, they're going to move on you, is what he consistently tells us. And if you don't believe, here are the people across the world on July 4th. Sister Beatrice, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
I'm
Wa
sorry.
alaikum salam.
I'm sorry.
How are you,
I had to
ma'am?
get it. I'm doing good, beloved. How are you?
I'm doing fine by Allah's mercy and grace.
Yeah. And thanks for your patience, because I was overwhelmed, you know, during it, because I just kept reflecting on the minister. But go ahead, sister.
Beautiful, don't? It's a beautiful thing. Yes, ma'am. And if I was to go back, to me, when the minister said, do you know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that Master Farad Muhammad taught him that once every 50,000 years, two stars appear in the southeastern sky, a blue and a red star. That blue and that red star are now presents.
Yes.
The signals the coming of the universal change. And in that, and then he goes on to see what happened after he said he was going to close down the Guardian.
And watch the guy go to work.
Okay, red star, blue star. Okay, mother planes. Okay, So the reality of it. Sometimes I talk to many people, and we're talking. To me, it's like real elementary to like go back, even though we have to sometimes. But I always say you have to read this book, "Message to the Black Man and Fall of America." I'm not sure how anyone can have a conversation about anything that's going on without reading those two books. It's like you're babbling. That's how I see.
Thank you for sharing. And did you get to see the beautiful honor guard? And that reminded me part of it when student minister Ishmael and student our Imam Abdul Rahman Muhammad, their portion reminded me of when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Brother Ishmael, they were part of the rededication of Mosque Mariam. Remember? And Stephanie Mills
Yes.
sang, and may Allah be pleased with him. Maestro Charles Ville orchestrated. He conducted the orchestra, but it was like Abraham and Ishmael, and they were just dedicating and rededicating them. It was just so. I'm just so full right now. Can you just host the show for me?
I want to share though that I will never forget that either. When they walked in there to do the prayer, and then something about when the minister was praying with Brother Ishmael on the side of him.
Yeah,
I can still close my eyes and feel that magnitude of that energy and synergy and God's majesty on that experiencing that, just to be there. Mosque Mariam and both of them were in there, and the minister is, when that prayer, when it seemed like his voice just became like a smooth note from a trumpet.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that. That was, I could still feel that like right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot. That's occurring and taking place, and I'm still new to the nation. I came in December 95. I heard student minister Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad, formerly Brother Tony, Minister Tony, and right then and there, that was after the Million Man March, and stood up and went to Chicago. He said, I want everybody, all the believers, to come to Chicago. I was like, I don't know what that means, but I'm going. And I went, and to see these things playing out, I never thought that I would see these happening in my lifetime, right down to what we're seeing in politics. You mentioned Message to the Black Man. That book, the books, the Quran, all of it, they're all walking off the page, And this man is not to be taken lightly, He's not. I say in the intro that I met a man who is God. I really I know that. I was going to say I believe that. I know that. There's not the things that have happened in my life that I've been able to get through that would be done otherwise. But Sister Beatrice, let's hear more from you. I'm telling you, I'm overwhelmed. I wish you was right here so you could just take the mic.
I'm on a cloud and I can't count either.
Yeah.
I'm going to be down. It's just, I think that the time is right for us, the believers, to talk straight talk.
We can't.
Can't
mince it.
Pardon me?
Can't mince it. That people have
cannot.
They have to have this.
They have to have this. And so, like I said, I'm at this point to where I'm in conversation, but at some point I say, have you read Message to the Black Man and Fall of America? Then I feel like if you read those and then come back and let's talk and let's get busy. And they'll say, oh, you know what? I need to read that. Yes, you need to read that.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe
read those. I don't know how I read. If I would say anything about now, because we can talk about it, but for others to understand it, right? Mm-hmm. Read Message to the Black Man and Fall of America. And then, like, for those whose mouth is wide open every single day, Okay, our mouth is like Allah is God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was 1,000% correct as things happen. Not to say they don't stop us in our track, but we read Message to the Black Man and Fall of America. Puts us in a better position as we go through this, and it can put yourself in a better position in understanding this.
Yeah, yeah. Even if we could share, we could share with them or start small, take a page or two, a chapter or two
But
out of the final call. But what is guiding and moving us, as we see
right,
those things, as he said, watch the God go to work when I shut down in the garden today. Well, that's true for any and everything else that he has said. So that's true for how he has told us how to get through and overcome, survive, and win against this scourge of what's happening in terms of police violence. But he said, and it's unfortunate we're seeing it, that, we would be made to separate, and that Allah was going to sick this enemy on us. We see in Breonna Taylor, may Allah be pleased with our sister, the 26-year-old in Louisville, Kentucky, the grand jury, a member of the grand jury asked the judge, sent a motion and said, you got to release these tapes. They want the public to know what was presented to them, what was said. Because, of course, there's a backlash, right? And so they're like, we weren't presented certain things, and they want the public to know what they got from the black attorney general, who's a Republican. But go ahead, Sister Beatrice.
oh yes, ma'am. I just didn't feel like that the verdict that came that there would not be any charges, even though that happened, and that's what the devil do. That's what Satan do. It didn't sit like a resolve, like it's over. I really don't think Brianna is over. I think Allah is going to make a way to revisit this, and they're held responsible. That's how I feel, because whoever was that who want to get the backlash off of them, in the process of trying to get the backlash off of them, that's something else that's happening in this case.
Yeah, you're right. I think you may be right. And this is according to ABC News. The grand jury member who requested the judge allow members of the panel they want to speak publicly. Not all of them. I
Right.
shouldn't say they, but this grand juror requested the judge allow them to speak publicly. They said this person, he or she said, he or she wants to speak about the evidence they heard in the case and the decision they reached. That person's attorney said, my client is aggrieved, to use that term that was presented is not being publicly disclosed. The grand juror's attorney. Yeah, there was a press conference recently, and they're aware that a lot of questions are unanswered. They see the protests in the street, and so those who are referred to here, they want it known what they got and what they did with what they received. But Student Minister Ava Muhammad talked about that on her show Elevated Places last Thursday.
Yes.
About, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
Yes. I said yes, she did,
Yeah.
and it was right on point. And so that's what I saw when I heard yesterday about the person on the grand jury. I said this is not over,
No.
even
No.
even
Hey.
if it's just for them, because they are under a lot of pressure. So if that makes you go back in and try to clear yourself, and in the process that we get to hear what happens, that's all part of a divine order,
Yeah.
as I see.
You look adorable. You look like you just got off of travel.
Oh,
Look at you.
so I
You
look
did
rested.
you look rested and non-stressed, and
I
I
was.
say that for the type of work that you do in terms of serving our people and our families and the mothers of those killed in police violence with Love Not Blood campaign. But yeah, you look like you've been on a trip.
I did. I received a call. So as we talk about families, I just want people to know how deep this trauma is. It stays and stays. I got a call from and organizations grabbing onto a family to use them to their just to their advantage and then let them go.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah,
no-no.
yeah, a couple calls on that happening, but uh, you know, the trauma, it continues and continues because right now, for some reason, people feel like this is their social justice uh, zoom to the moon, right? They want to
You
place
said
themselves in a position
zoom
because
to the
they
moon.
are may have some kind of stardom, right?
Mm.
And then they come in, and then they gather families, but it's their own person. And so some of our families are experiencing that, and it's
Mm.
really traumatizing for them
Oh wow.
because why we God is making people see clear now. As people pick up on it right away now, you know. And so the trauma just continues. So I want wish everyone continue to pray for the families that's impacted by police terrorism because it's a 24/7 traumatizing, you know, event that's in
Mm.
their lives that they have to maneuver around, even with all this going on. So that's what I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, in Final Call, what do you think about this? There was a story, there's a story Sister Anissa did in Final Call talking about, which depicts how an officer, I want to find it, but this way that law enforcement approaches other ethnicities, for instance, and they shouldn't, you know, bombard a child with autism or anybody for that matter, but the way our people are done and the way others are treated, with respect and dignity in policing.
Right, and that's a big issue, and that's really that's the problem. That's the major problem with our people getting killed. It's because they are not doing proper handling of the black people. How about that?
Hmm. No.
They're not doing proper handling of the black people, no matter what, whether they 4 years old. Well, sometimes they would run up, and that's another traumatizing happening
Hmm.
when police officers run up on families in their child's face. They know they can approach them at 3 and 4 and talking about you, Mister Friendly, but they are aware that you're killing us in our community.
Hmm. 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 Wow. Yeah, this story is calls for de-escalation after police shoot
Right.
autistic boy. This is our contributing writer, Sister Anissa, in our national section. And yeah, that
That's
wow.
just a trauma. So what do you say? Like I was sharing with someone what they were who were addressing families and money. I say, don't talk about the families. That keep that part out your mouth, right?
You mean in terms of them and settlements, right?
Right, right. Keep
Yeah,
them
that's
keep them unless you've been a family impacted by police terrorism and unless you got a settlement and then you took your settlement and you help all them families that came behind you, then you got to keep your mouth off of that because there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people was talking about this and that, but families want reparations for their loved one, but they really want justice.
and they want their loved one.
They really want their
They
loved
you
one,
keep
but that's
keep
not
keep
something
these
that's going to
keep
happen.
keep
They
this
really
money.
prefer their loved
Yeah,
one.
exactly. It's like keep this money. Why did you have to kill him or her in the first place? Yeah,
Right.
it's just something about money when it comes into the picture. It just wrecks the whole thing. What were you going to say, Beatrice?
Yeah, I was just saying what you were saying, right? But even if a family gets money, that money is no money that you can put on the value of life. So people stop it. Okay, families settle for many reasons that don't have nothing to do with what you think.
Wow. I just think the
Sometimes,
proverbial or the gun is always pointed in the wrong direction, right? The
and I
conversation.
say to
Yeah.
you, you cannot speak about these families and this money. Okay, I just think that it's wrong, especially if you're speaking negative about it because you haven't experienced it and you don't know it. And so it had, and then they love their loved one. The cheapest, they would rather, like you said, they would rather have their loved one.
Yeah, rather have them here.
Period. Every last one of them would rather have their loved one. They don't care about that money like that. But what would you like?
I didn't get that, Beatrice. Can you repeat that? I didn't get what she said, but
A lot of people that were upset as well about that, to see all the different blogs and people talking about that like that when they experience it. Unless you walked in those shoes, you really have to keep your mouth off of that.
yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard. I saw. I don't even want to repeat it, but I saw the issue with the backlash of the family settling.
Amen.
But what would the family be expected to do? Also, people leave too soon. Sometimes you have a lot of support, you have a lot of outrage, you have a lot of demands for justice, but there's some families who are just left in the lurch, like they still need care. I'm not talking about pity. I'm talking about real help to get right. As I observe Love Not Blood and others try to help them with, help to get video footage, help to get the cameras, the video released. Like we see now in some incidents where the table has been turned and officers have been aggressed upon, the video is coming out like immediately because it shows the narrative that the sheriff or the police force wants to show. But you still have families from decades and decades fighting to get footage.
Right
now.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow.
They are fighting to get footage. They're fighting to get police reports. In some cases, some agencies are using coronavirus not to facilitate the family and the needs and the things that they need for their fight.
Wow.
We've experienced a lot of that. Everyone wants to blame it on corona.
COVID-19, which don't take the vaccine.
Yes. When the mailman is still running, you can send that in the mail.
Yeah, man. You can deliver it. You can do a lot of different things. The families will pick it up. Hey, right? Sister Beatrice, in the last few minutes, let's talk about Pumps Underground. And it's a few chapters or a chapter.
I just got in.
Oh, you got your book.
It's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I'm still looking at the cover.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you for the support. And Uncle got his own book, so he don't have to bother your book.
Please, okay? So, yes, ma'am, I'm looking forward to. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do this morning is take a look at a couple of chapters and just start getting to Pumps to the Ground. That was my morning reading.
It's Pumps on the ground.
Ready, but morning reading for a book.
They're on the
ground. It was going to be yours.
Thank you.
So next time we're going to talk about Pumps.
Yeah, it can be ordered at liberatedsisters.com. Liberatedsisters.com to order the book. Thank you to everyone who has been ordering the book. In it, you'll see interviews, or there are interviews with some of the final call editors that I've been training under, as well as in my testimony about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, my finding my voice through his teaching and guiding, as well as through his student national captain, Naima Muhammad, those that preceded her, just many shoulders that we stand on. There's an interview with my husband in there, Brother Maurice or Amin Ali Muhammad, and many more. It goes through some of the police killings, high profile, right? Oscar Grant, right? Beatrice, one. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown Jr. We talk about Waukesha Wilson here in Los Angeles, and we culminated with, I ended by talking about what happened with Nipsey and how Sister Beatrice and viewers, some mothers said that was a healing for them, because all before they just felt that, people would come into town, it would be high profile, help this family, serve this family, care for this family, and those that were lost in street wars, their families said, well, what about our children? Don't they matter too? And with Nipsey, I was standing right there when a lot of mothers told Brother Abdul Malik Saeed, formerly Brother Tony, that, this was a healing for them. Because people get it that we have to stop them both. But go ahead, Sister Beatrice. So you can order it at LiberatedSisters.com. Sister Beatrice?
Oh, no, I just was thinking about that period in time, which was not very long ago. Matter of fact, it was last year, if I'm correct. And how that Nipsey Hussle experience really has touched the community.
Yeah.
There's really, but continue to fight.
Repeat
and
that.
so
Repeat
even
that.
in our community in the Bay Area.
Beatrice,
pardon me?
Repeat that. There's really what?
Oh, I said there's really a lot of more people who are getting involved in community.
Oh yeah.
Violence since
Clear.
Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
I experienced, because I've been experiencing and participating with the families who are really trying to build a movement such as that of police movement. And wouldn't that be great if that we could build that movement and have both movements, and we go see the police together. Okay, because they're not solving the true crimes in these cases.
No,
they are
not.
really literally letting killers out.
Yeah, they're not.
I know such a just happened yesterday, a killer, and they let him go. So we have a lot of.
What do you mean? Let him go home? What was it? He was sick, or they said he didn't
do it?
No, he
was trial. They said not guilty, but the person they did it. They little things that they have sent other people to prison for. They just threw it out, and it all because there was a young Caucasian girl involved and who should have been charged with accessory to murder as well.
But they let the case? Can you get the case name? Can I get the case name, or are you going to text it to me? I like to look at that.
Yes, I'll text it to you. Okay. And the family is devastated as you sit and listen to all the evidence of someone murdering your loved one, and then they get let go. That's the same trauma and pain. So like I said, both sides need to come together, and let's together fight this fight to demand that we get justice. Our tax dollars pay for the police department. We're supposed to be serviced.
Well,
so I feel collectively, if we came together, then we have some kind of power to either defund them, or or put some people in there that's really going to be for us in our community.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Beatrice, thank you so much for being with us to talk about the Criterion, the new footage, as well as your feedback and some of what's happening in policing. We didn't get to politics, but thank you so much. I appreciate you, okay? Assalamu alaikum. I don't know if she can hear me. Oh, assalamu alaikum, sister. Thank you, Angela. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Love you. Thanks also to Angela Birdsong. Again, Sister Beatrice, X of Love Not Blood campaign. Thank you to the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, all who made the delivery of his Criterion possible. Thank you, Felicia the Poetess Morris. And again, you can order Pumps on the Ground at LiberatedSisters.com. And thank you for the supporters who have the book right now. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.